The word of the day for today, January 5th, 2022, is distalfink. Distalfink. It's a noun, and it means a stylized bird motif traditional in Pennsylvania German art. On dictionary.com, the origins are interesting, useful, all of those things, particularly because as you read through the origin, your mind starts making some assumptions, and then those assumptions are disrupted, overturned by facts. And I think that's a useful experience to have when it comes to language and life. Being ready, as a reminder to stay in practice of allowing facts to disrupt your assumptions, or be ready to see that happening. The two examples are very helpful in understanding literally how the word is used and what it means, but also some of the more culturally embedded significance of it around hope and around the harvest, or around the bounty of a season of agricultural activity. The second example gave me some ideas about how we would use this in creative writing and telling stories. A motif like this that is it's culturally embedded. It's on the walls. It's hanging on the walls in art. It's part of a history. You can imagine it just being the type of thing that's around when you are growing up, when you are, and then when you move on from your home, you go back to your grandparents or wherever, right? And it's one of those things that visually sort of tactilely connects a character to the place that they're in, right? Makes them feel some kind of way, whatever, right? So it brings some realism, and it draws people in because your character's like living in a real world that has history, that has art, that has things that aren't directly connected to your story in a functional, practical, plot-driving way, right? So it goes to setting, it goes to character. And then some of the visual imagery that goes along with it as well can contribute to your overall themes, right? So the absence, for instance, this is where I'm coming from. In the second example, there's an absence of the distalfink in a place where it would have been expected in this piece of art. And so what does that mean, right? If that's a hopeful and kind of a lucky symbol, what does it mean to have that missing, right? Despair, a lack of hope, right? So you can create these omens that are meaningful in the story, as well as to the character, right? And if they're not meaningful to the character, if you create one that's meaningful, we do that all the time. Create ones that are meaningful to the reader, but not to the character, but the character gets them because we need them to. Anyway, so you can use things like that, like distalfink, to create a more enthralling environment, I think, for your readers to read about and for your characters to live in.